So what's the biggest challenge of weaving a story with historical facts?
So in that, I find actually I don't try and do that consciously at all. What I do is, my method of working is I research, I make lots of notes. I try and start creating some kind of a method in my notes, be it character references, be it interesting architectural references, things that I think I can put into the plot or a scene, or, and I use lots of highlighters and I keep doing this over a few months. And what I then do is that I put this aside for a while. And very often what I go back to it, look at what I've highlighted, what I've put together. And if there is something which is very, like, I find really interesting, or little nuggets, I will then, mark them out. And I create a story structure. Very often, if it is like in the Tughlaq book case, as an example, I love the reference to the horse and foot postal system, which Ibn Battuta refers to, and it was actually set up by Alauddin Khilji at that before. And I thought it would be a really interesting thing to base a large part of the story and create a scene. So I'll make a note that this will go as in some part of the scene, or what Ibn Battuta actually puts for Tughlaq in the sweets and the platters to get himself out of a pickle should actually become a part of the plot somewhere. Or the entry, if there's an architectural reference to the Hall of Thousand Pillars and the fact that there are 3 gates leading up to it, I said, that's something which I can visualize in front of me. So I make those notes and then I start writing, and I really try. There are, I would say, a lot more, possibly 50 to 70% more of my research is left out of the book than inside the book. And I think that's really important to recognize, that you don't have to force in the facts, because then it becomes like a history lesson and it breaks the writing and it will make it stilted. So what I really try and do is that whatever organically comes into the story, because now the research is sort of there in the back of my mind after so much reading. And if something flows into the story, I keep building that in. And what I usually find pleasantly, what surprises me is that at the end of every book, actually, I make sure I put down this chapter, which is called Fact or Fiction. And it tells you that while you thought everything was fiction, there's actually a lot of facts. So when I get down to actually noting down, I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually managed to put in a lot of facts into this story. But it isn't very conscious effort to do that. Of course, I want to build it in, but it's not that everything has to go into it.
So you've been with the History Mystery series for over a decade. Have you come to the stage like, oh my God, there are more dynasties to explore, or like, no, that's it. I don't want to do this anymore, because, it all boils down to the research. If you don't have enough research material, then everything just, you may find a small nugget of information, but if you don't have enough information to back it up, then the whole story like collapses.
Yeah. No, I actually haven't got to that stage. My editor will be very pleased to hear this as I say it. I should hold it over my head, because every now and then I'm like, oh, I need a break. I'm going to take a little bit of a break before I write. And I like a lot of variety in my writing. So between these, I have them actually here. I've published the Good Indian Child's Guide to Eating Mangoes, and one on cricket, and I've written picture books. So I like that variety. It helps me clear my head. So
can you hold that mango book? It won an award, right? It from a Bombay school, the American school, right?
Yes, it's called the Jarul. Yeah, it's called the Jarul Book Award. And it's an award which is voted by children who actually read the book. So it makes it really special, I think. A whole bunch of schools come together and then they read it and then vote for it. So it won the Jarul Book Award in 2019, just before lockdown and all the world changed. Yeah, and it was followed then by the cricket one. So if there are kids who've just finished watching IPL or cricket enthusiasts, it's a good one. And these are also really funny stories, actually. So I say never. And there are actually lots of rulers, and there is a lot of material still available. I had at one point even been researching Aryabhatta. So I do hope to go back to him at some point. So let's see. There's lots of plans.
So I think this book has come. When was the last book before Tughlaq? It has taken some time. I mean, partially because of the lockdown, but I think you've had enough time to actually, you know, research and bring out this product. So when is the next book coming? Have you started
Oh,
working on something yet?
on the next history mystery or just the next book?
Okay, both.
Both. So the next history mystery I haven't started work on. That's why I'm saying my editor will be happy to hear that never say never, that there might be another one in the works. So yeah, I still have to put my thoughts together on that. And in addition, I have 2 picture books actually scheduled to come out. I would hope end of this year or early next year.
Lovely.
So that's quite exciting. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to those.
Yeah. So hold all the history mystery books and
Oh, wow.
do your pitch.
That's going to be, it's nice to say that that's going to be a tough task, but I shall try because there's so many that I can't hold them all together. Yeah. Let's see if I can manage them like this, perhaps. You get a good sense.
Yeah. So which one gave you the most trouble, you know, in terms of research or something? Which one is your favorite?
Oh, that's a very hard one, Shamila.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, which is your favorite child? It's probably the toughest thing to say. Possibly the Razia book. I found that there were fewer resources, very few resources for it. So I had to piece lots of little bits together.
Yeah.
That was the hardest to research. I think with everything else, there was enough research material. For Raja Raja Chola, again, it was a very different form of research. I had to look at newspaper articles. There were discoveries of copper plates. I had to figure out what was written on them. It was very all over the place.
Right.
So that was also perhaps a hard one to research. Favorite is very hard to say. Akbar, of course, has a little bit of a tiny special corner in my heart because it's the first in the series, and the way it originated in the most strange way, you know, starting with this sock that I pulled out of a sack. Right. And I was told to, you know, weave a story around that, or then they were kind enough to say feet or footsteps. So it was a really bizarre starting point for me. So that makes it a little bit special.
Can you hold the Razia book? This book also won an award. I think it was a Sabha award. Was it?
Yes, it won the Sabha Award honor 2016, and actually the Shah Jahan book won the Comic Con Best Illustrated Children's Book as well. So they've been lucky enough to get recognition, which always is nice and leaves you with a good feeling.
Thank you, Natasha. Thanks a lot. I hope with so many awards you feel inspired that you're on the right track and you write many more books.
Thank you, Shamila, and thank you for having me here today. It was really a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.